You're listening to the Ask Drone U podcast. You ask, we answer your drone questions. Whether you're here to turn your passion into profit or you simply fly for fun, we're a community of learners and teachers who aspire to achieve greatness. We are
Drone U.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Ask Drone U. I'm very excited to be here with you today as we're going to be talking about why learning to fly at Drone U could save you the cost of tuition at a traditional university. But we also want to showcase why we built Drone U as a library of courses. And since we are now the largest online library of drone courses, well, a lot of people are scratching their heads at our Cyber Week deal. It just seems too good to be true. And so that's what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about our Cyber Week deals, because for once in our entire show's history, we're actually going to talk about what is in Drone U membership, top to bottom. And since we're offering a very large deal, a deal we've never offered before, a lifetime package to Drone U, which also includes our new university-style mapping class where we teach it in the evenings, all of this is included. So we're going to talk about what all is included, where is the value, why it's so different, and why a lot of people struggle to understand the value. It's just not set up in the system that you're used to. That's because those systems do not reward you for working hard. Those systems do not reward you for thinking out of the box. Most people go into those systems expecting a job at the end, when most people fail to realize at the beginning that your entire goal is to create your own job. I mean, this is something that I've talked about at UNM numerous times over. And I've taught sales classes at the Anderson School of Management. And I sit here and say, if you're in this class expecting to get a job after school, you're an idiot. And everyone looks at me like, and they look around at each other. What are you talking about?
Well, we're all idiots together.
And then I say,
I was an idiot.
I was too. Let's be real. So, but the thing is that I say in the class, if you leave this class thinking about how you can create your own job, you're on the right track, because we live in a society where there are so many niches online. You can literally make a six-figure normal income niching down on whatever you like. That is including also Rob's pastime of walking his cat on a leash.
Oh man, it's some of my best memories. But you know what? When you talk about creating your own job, that could also be working for a company.
100%.
Right? It doesn't. You're not necessarily speaking specifically about entrepreneurship, because there are a lot of people in the workforce needs folks who are willing and in fact want to go work for an existing company, an existing organization. These principles still apply in that case, because you're going into that organization wanting to bring value to that organization and let them know how you add value, which is in effect creating a job.
Yes, it is. And I think the most dangerous person is the person who goes into a job trying to learn the systems of the business with the ultimate, goal of learning those systems to build their own systems in their business. Mm-hmm. That is really the most dangerous person. So let's get into this, okay? Because Houston, we have a problem.
Uh-oh.
A lot of people think Drone U is only made to help the noobs. The plebes, as John McBride would say.
The plebes?
Actually, I just put words in his mouth. Sorry, John.
He's probably done the same.
Yeah, I'm sure we all have. But I said plebes because it's a military term for someone who's new, essentially, to the new to the system.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I learned that at the Naval Academy. I actually, not rabbit trailing.
Anyways,
long story.
All right.
Okay, we have a problem. A lot of people think Drone U is only made for new pilots. Okay.
Emphasis on only.
Uh-huh.
Because we love our new pilots. But carry on.
I would ask the question then, then how did the NTSB require our accident reconstruction and drone mapping and flight mastery training for all of their investigators? Why do they choose us over other schools? Especially when they investigated them all. So why did they choose us? I don't know. You're going to have to do the math yourself. But when it comes to Drone U, we are not just for beginners. And I wanted to make sure that we really go into detail about that, because we are a trusted source for companies that we're not even allowed to talk about that they're our client.
I probably wouldn't yet, no.
Okay. Dang it. I was trying to see if I could talk about one particular
Well, let's
one.
just say you've heard of them.
If your stock portfolio grew 500% in the last 6 months, then you definitely know who we're talking about. Anyway,
Oh, no, we could talk about them.
Yeah?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I think we have.
About Tesla?
Yeah.
Okay, we're talking about Tesla. All
I mean,
right.
look, they're a client. I don't think it's a secret.
No, it's not. And one of the things that I wanted to bring on is this whole idea that Drone U only serves new pilots. And I just want to say thank you to all of the people who think that, because you're helping us weed out the crowd. I mean, it's that simple. We understand that the people who are going to be the most successful are those who are willing to work and have an open mind. And so assumptions, and I'm guilty myself, when we make assumptions, we can kind of cut off our nose to spite our face. I've done it dozens of times in front of all of you, okay? We're all human, all right? Now, that being said, it's Cyber Week. Drone U is offering 3 packages we've never offered before. And one of them is lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, which is a really interesting concept because, well, I don't know. I mean, it's sort of like giving away the farm. And
We are giving away the farm. Mm-hmm.
And it's okay because our goal has always been to get the information that we feel is the best and most accurate, most beneficial information to as many people as possible so that we can just help people have success. Yeah. And so it's going to do that over a long period of time.
It really is. And so, you think about a traditional school, you go for what, 4 or 5 years, maybe? I went for 5, I'll be honest.
I went a little longer. But that's because I changed majors.
I am not afraid to say I finished in 5 years.
Oh, no.
5 years, baby.
Try 6. But hey.
I also lived in a foreign country for a year, so there's that.
There you go.
Anyway.
In my defense, architecture, accounting, very different.
Man, architecture, that's one of the coolest programs at UNM. One of my favorite teacher of all time, Ephemios Manthis. He teaches Arc 101 and 201.
That's a super cool name, if nothing else.
He also drives a Range Rover Classic, 1977. Anyway.
Interesting. Yeah. Rabbit trails all over the place.
Yeah.
And I do just want to say this, that there is absolutely nothing wrong with catering, if we're going to use that word, to beginning pilots. Because the way I see it is it reminds you where you came from. And never forgetting that and always investing back into the fundamentals of whatever you're doing is a really good thing.
Well, you know what? I think one of the biggest issues in marketing is trying to segregate the audience based off of the timeline of where they are. Here's why I say that. Because yes, we do help beginners because we all started from the same place.
Exactly.
We all started with a love, a passion, a driving inspiration and motivation to go to somewhere new, maybe even somewhere we've gone before, and take flight there to experience it in a whole new way that we've really never been able to do before. That's how it really started for 99% of us. Mm-hmm. The guys at the FAA that we have to force to trainings to make them learn how to fly, that's the 1%. Okay, I'm just kidding, FAA. Take it.
I hope they laughed.
I hope they did too. Actually, I got an email about our 107 update podcast. They were really happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well,
Not
I mean, it was
collective, but the guy who emailed me.
Well, you're never going to make everybody happy.
That's true. Hey, going back to this. It's Cyber Week. Drone U. Is it just new? No, it's not. And that, I think, is actually the flaw in marketing that I was alluding to, is that as entrepreneurs, we always talk about, oh, you're starting a new business. One of the biggest issues as an entrepreneur is once you start your business, you work in the business and you never return to working on the business. What do I mean about working on the business? Setting up your systems, understanding that your true profitability is only based off of your propensity to scale. Gosh, if I would have learned that at the beginning of this company, we'd be billionaires. Long story short, Rob, is that I think we make the mistake of honing in on whether someone is new or experienced or advanced. I'll be honest, I never have met an advanced pilot other than John McBride. I'm serious. A lot of people say that they're advanced. And you know what? I'm excited that they have that confidence because it is very powerful when flying. But I think we should also be pragmatic in the sense that we always can learn something new. And that's why I think that there's an error in talking about if you're just getting started. Look, Drone U helps people who are getting started. But we also offer one of the most technical drone classes on the internet, advanced accident reconstruction. Okay, where you're making decisions that affect people's lives. Mm-hmm. And if you're not doing it accurately, you're going to get sued. Okay, that's the thing. Our standard is high because in order to succeed, you have to have a high standard too. Now, Ongood and I have talked about this significantly, that having too high of a standard can really hurt your relationships. And that is true. But having a high standard with yourself, that's something different. Okay. So Drone U is a different flight school. Whether you're starting out new, intermediate, or advanced, I promise you will learn something new to make money off of. We are a flight school that actually does want you to succeed. How do you know? Well, because of the price point, right? We're not charging you $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $200,000 for a 4-year program, right? Because we all know the way the traditional university system works is they pretty much copy each other's programs, and they all get the information from one central hub. Yeah, I know, because I've helped a few. That being said, I think a lot of you can really gain so much more knowledge from experience. That's why our instructors at Drone U only teach from experience.
On that point, I want everybody to stop for a minute, hit pause, think about your college experience if you've had one, and think about the professors that stand out the most to you as having the greatest impact on your education or, in fact, your career. And my guess, I'd be willing to put some money up, we don't need to talk about amounts, that they were people who came from the industry in which they were teaching you. I would bet that that's going to be the case, meaning if they're memorable to you, it's because they were teaching from their own experience, probably recent experience. Anyways, carry on.
Which gets me to the main value proposition of this as a whole. $200,000 to be taught a lot of theory. A lot of theory.
Yeah.
That you probably won't remember.
Well, in fact, we all know. I mean, again, those of us, which is probably the majority of people listening even that have been to college, we all know that the true learning comes when you start the job. It's the on-the-job training that you actually learn in, or from somebody who is on the job.
Yeah.
And the combination therein.
Well, I mean, Einstein said it best. The only true knowledge, or the only true wisdom, is gained from a knowledge from experience. I didn't say that very well, but that's what it, long story short.
Yep.
Drone U teaches from experience. We teach you the practical information, the workflows, but we also teach you the systems to understand why the workflows are the stated workflows. And so here's the thing. How do you know Drone U is really out for your benefit? Because we only succeed if you succeed. That's why we've had members who have been with us for 5 years. They continue to learn, they continue to grow, and they continue to learn things that make them money. Here's the thing, traditional university or college is also really screwed right now because all of them have to figure out how to actually create engaging, cool, fun content that's rememberable and retainable while being viewed online. Well, Drone U, we've been doing that for like 10 years now. Not quite 10 years, like 7, but we'll just go with, we'll round up. Paul Factor, okay? Paul Factor.
Yes. Oh gosh, I feel like we need an icon for Paul Factor, like Paul, PF, X, a digit.
I've already had dreams about replacing Kramer. Paul Factor, Paul Factor. Anyway, so, okay, so traditional university, right? You're not really learning practical information, okay? And you're not learning from experience. Also, most of the universities who do have UAS programs right now, how could they have instructors with experience? Because well, hold on. 107's only been around since 16. So how much experience can people really have, right? That's why you got to know who you're learning from. Okay, I'm not talking about that anymore. Let's get into the dirty details. We got 3 packages here, Rob, and I was actually trying to pull up those packages. That's what I was trying to show you. I'm trying to pull up those packages really fast because we've got an annual membership package. If you want access to absolutely all of our classes, and we're going to show you what you get with that, because that's the big problem is a lot of people don't understand how much content there is and the depth of the content and what's really important. So really, 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 really fast. Annual membership is $347. It's a 25% savings. That is only for a year though. The lifetime membership is $1,497. Yeah, that's it. You know what? It's so funny because there's a really, really cool testimonial here right below this. By the way, if you want to check this out before we go into everything that you get with this, you can check it out, thedroneu.com/cyber-monday-sale. It'll pull it up. Here's this testimonial. This is from Todd. Let me first say that after exhaustively searching the internet, using industry connections, even joining AUVSI and taking the TOPS Level 1 course with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, I can honestly say that I've never found a more affordable, dedicated, and comprehensive training portal anywhere but then at the drone you. That's interesting. Here's another one. This has been the best investment for my business thus far. I've gained an immense amount of knowledge from the tips to help drive the business forward. Keep crushing it. Another person, Eric. This is one of my favorites because Eric didn't give us his photo because he works for another training company. Sorry, Eric. I just completed the flight mastery course on the front end of the public safety and accident scene reconstruction course at the National Transportation Safety Board Academy with DroneU. Wow. I thought I was a good pilot, but the training maneuvers really humbled me. This was the most challenging and worthwhile drone training I've ever received, and I look forward to viewing other offerings at DroneU. Okay, so we just gave you 2 testimonials. I'm not going to bore you anymore, okay? Lifetime access, $14.97, but the last package I want to tell you about is lifetime membership, and so that means when we publish new classes and membership, you get those too. But we're also giving away our virtual class bundle. This is our new operations and flight mastery that's been essentially merged together because in-person training is going to be difficult probably till March. So that being said, we've also offered our virtual drone mapping bootcamp. And Rob, I know a lot of people have been blowing up your email, and I'm sorry. I said something on the podcast I shouldn't have said.
Which was?
You're like, wait. Oh no. When I
you say thing all the time.
Oh, I know it's bad.
Which specific one are we talking about?
Good question, Rob. The one about the evening drone mapping bootcamp class.
Yeah.
Being up on the website. I know.
It is now. Yeah.
Yeah, it is up now. But if you do sign up for this package with the lifetime access and the virtual mapping bootcamp, you can attend that evening class. And we're going to talk about what that includes here in just a little bit. I would say, though, this is probably my favorite class ever. Why? Because I've taught it more than really just about any other mapping class or any other class really in general. And I want to show everyone really quick a cool project. This is actually, you guys remember the Denver Convention Center point cloud that we did? You are now looking at it in VFX. Looks pretty beautiful, huh? This is what you can do with complex 3D modeling. This is what you can do when you have the right skills to build point clouds in environments that other people just simply cannot do. I mean, this contract was given, or was... a lot of people were allowed to bid on this contract. I wasn't the only one. But you're seeing exactly what's going on with this point cloud and the level of animation, the level of detail. And here's the thing. I mean, why not? Look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful. A logistics plan in 3D, all built from a point cloud.
That is super cool.
And so I think that's going to help some construction companies sell their stuff here. I think it's going to help visualize the changes that are being added. I think it's going to help visualize safety. I think it's going to save some lives. I think it's also going to save some money. I think it's also going to
make some money.
Make that money. All right. Isn't that a cool video though?
That's super cool.
I mean, like,
go ahead.
No,
you
go ahead.
Ever what?
Have you ever seen a point cloud used like this before?
No, in fact, that was going to be my question is, so they were given the point cloud and then somebody from their office or whatever took and did all that with it? Is that what happened?
Yes. I forget the exact program they used. I want to say it's Revit, but that's not right. It's a different program. And they took the point cloud in there. They texturized the point cloud. You can actually see the specific point cloud and where they remove the texturization. See if I can find it here because they show it. Yeah, it's right here. So this particular animation is where you can see that some of the texturization doesn't exist because you see a lot of the white spots. Okay, those are actually bad points. I mean, I deleted.
But it doesn't matter in this particular application.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
as you
it's
can
exciting.
see, it is not only about training beginners. It's really interesting that we have that reputation.
It is really
And
interesting.
I don't mean to go back to that. We don't need to go full circle, but I'm just seeing something like that and going, huh? But that's okay.
Yeah, and I mean, think about it. Other mapping classes at universities and colleges, they teach the Pix 4D Essentials 101 and 102. And, thanks to OnGood, you're a G, love you, buddy. We've taken
I haven't seen
that
G in a while.
content, added so much to it, smashed it into 4 days, and now we're taking it over 8 weeks. So what you would learn at a traditional university with Pix 4D Essentials 101 and 102 that's stretched out over the 8 or 16 week period, you're going to get all of that and then double or triple that. And that's what you're actually getting with us, because we're going to not only teach you capture, we're not going to teach you Pix 4D Mapper, but we're also going to teach you things like React. We're going to work on drone deploy. We're going to talk about GCPs, landing pads, different GPS, etc. We're actually going to fly too. We're going to give you some data. And oh yeah, that's right. We're going to process 7 or 8 exercises. Let's get to that later.
Well, so a really quick point on this whole opportunity, because it really is a really cool opportunity in that many of you already know, and I really don't mean to butter him up. Doesn't need buttering, if that's a thing. But I can just imagine you teaching this class over 8 weeks. You're basically going on a ride with you digging deeper with each week, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool, because I was telling somebody that was emailing me and asking, or I don't know where it was, but they were asking about the virtual classes and why they're better than the classes that we have online, and are they better, et cetera. And I was just thinking about how every single iteration, meaning the most recent virtual class that we do, is different from the previous because more has been learned since the last one. And this is going to be an ongoing process of that. And I just think that's going to be a lot of fun.
We just showed that.
Yeah.
Literally just showed it. We didn't teach that in the last mapping class. Sorry.
Right. And yeah, that's just the nature of the beast. That's not a negative. I mean, it's just, it also speaks to the fact that you got to always be learning.
You do always got to be learning. But let's talk about, okay, whether you get the annual membership, the lifetime, or the lifetime with the virtual mapping class that we just kind of went over, what are you really getting? What is Drone U? Yeah, we're a flight school. Yeah, we got some cool digs. Yeah, we got an office space race course. We love to fly. But we're also so much more than that. And in fact, Drone U got started not because of these cool technical jobs that are making money all over and really don't tell a good story. No. Drone U was built on telling beautiful stories with drones, using drones as tools, using drones to capture moments that remind us of what it's like to be in flow state, when problems just don't arise anymore and you escape the tyranny of the world. It really is a time when you can show your family out experiencing the world, whether it's hiking, whether it's biking, whether it's you on a boat. Maybe you rented a pontoon boat and you guys are going tubing for the day. Don't you want to relive those memories when your kids are just too old and they're not around anymore and you want to relive what it was like? Well, now you can, in a whole new way. And I know some of you just want to fly your families. Some of you, love biking, hiking, boarding, skating, and even surfing. But don't you want to get better shots? Don't you want to get drone shots that are closer than your friends? I mean, don't you want to get shots that you can that really put yourself outside of the pack of drone pilots, because you're flying closer, you're flying smoother, you're shooting very complex motions with tilt, with yaw, and even with pitch and roll.
a thing that I would do to give up this high that moves me on, to give up this feeling that I've got. So take me to the waves, bring me to my sweet escape. Oh, take me to a place where I can get away. You don't have to say anything. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. You don't have to say anything.
How do you get those smooth shots? It's these smooth shots like what we saw in the World Series video of the year. It's these shots that got Drone U flowing. And it's these same shots that won video of the year for the World Series of Surfing. So why don't we take a quick look and see what it's like to use a drone to fly closer, to fly lower, to fly slow-mo, and to help us relive experiences unlike we've ever lived them before.
Walk slowly, disappear now. You've got nothing to fear now. Walk slowly, disappear now. You've got nothing to fear now. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. You don't have to say anything. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. You don't have to say anything. I'm coming alive, but something's blinding my eyes. I'm trying to lose what I've already tried. But someone's released me straight out to the wild. And shackled my hands to set the feeling on fire. To set this feeling on fire.
Man, Rob, that was one of the best trips I've ever had.
I mean, super cool, but why would I want to spend time trying to learn to fly like that when I can get a drone that will do it for me?
Ah, great question, Rob.
I mean, they're out there, right?
No, they are. In fact, let's play this clip, which we actually published a few weeks ago when Skydio came out and said that they are replacing pilots. And we dug down the rabbit hole and revisited a question that I think was rather important. But here's the real practical gist of it, right? Drones that fly themselves. It doesn't matter if it's Skydio. It doesn't matter if it's a Mavic 2 Pro. It doesn't matter if it's a Mini. It doesn't matter. There are a lot of autonomous drones out there. Can they really fly close? Can you fly close enough to even differentiate who the person is that's in the video? That's my first question for you. My next question is, can you really fly over water with obstacle avoidance? And I know that answer because I've seen students try to not turn off their VPS at classes and lose their drones. You know who I'm talking about? So we know for a fact that this does not work. And in fact, we know Austin Keene, remember him from the wedding? One of my best men?
Of course I remember Austin, yes.
There's a reason.
How could I forget that hair?
There's a reason he did not post a video with a Skydio. Because when they went out and shot, they lost the Skydio 2 drone in the water.
Oh, no.
Because I was like, hey, I want to go shoot with Austin Keene. They're like, no, we can't do that. Okay?
That bridge is gone.
No. And I called Austin. He's like, oh, yeah, the little blue drone.
That's funny. Well, and then there's also the issue of complex environments, which I have tried, and it just did not go well.
No. So you can't fly close. It doesn't fly smooth. Typically, you can't even tell who the person in the video is. You couldn't tell if it's your daughter or your wife. Let's be real. It's that far out. And I'm not going to lie, but I actually have stopped flying those drones since I reached out to the federal prosecutors and the investigators regarding the legalities of that particular aircraft. And I don't think it's in my best interest to keep flying that thing. So we're actually going to give our Skydios to Haya to give away.
Because are you saying you want these to be somebody else's problem?
Hey, if they're flying strictly recreationally,
No.
then they're good to go.
Let's be clear. We have a couple of them, right?
Yes, we do.
And we definitely want to.
We were actually about to put out a video on why we thought the Skydio was like the best drone for journalists. And then remember some of these issues came up anyway.
Yeah. And I just want to make it clear that yes, we have a couple of them. We want to give one of them away because it really is kind of a cool drone. The other one I'm keeping because I think it's kind of fun to fly.
Strictly recreationally, Rob.
Strictly recreationally.
And strictly recreational, whatever the F that means. Anyway, sorry, I couldn't help myself. Anyway.
Aren't you proud of him for saying F? Let's all give a round of applause. Anyways, carry on.
Okay, let's get into this. Okay, so we talked about subject tracking, right? If you really want to fly the family, if you're really into, maybe mountain biking or snowboarding, you're going to want to fly to learn low close. And so you can get these really cool shots. Also, if you're a producer, I don't understand why anyone as a producer would not want to be an avid drone pilot because you've got a gimbal that are used on sets all the time on dollies, on cranes, on cars, but you've got a gimbal that can move infinitely in any direction in space with a drone. And I know a producer, we can't say the name of it, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He just got into learning how to fly, Sean, because he was just like, man, there's so many shots I can replace with this one piece of equipment and save stupid money. He's like, am I going to piss off the unions? Yes.
You know what? Yeah.
I'm not worried about who we piss off.
No, I mean, and they'll come around. They have to.
I think
that's the nature of the beast.
Market dynamics, you're right. That being said, let's talk about this Cyber Week package. It is only available for 1 week, and this lifetime access will get you access to things like our subject tracking class. But you're also going to have access to another class, which is called Flying Over Water. These are all the settings that you need to know to turn on or turn off on your drone when you're flying over water in very specific things. And that doesn't, mention our equipment class, our drills and exercises class. The drills and exercises class is really a great thing to help you when you're actually at home in this virtual world and you actually want to fly, right? That drills and exercise class, that's the next thing to help you bridge the gap from watching subject tracking to doing it at home. Remember, retention, fun, engagement. That is Drone U, taught from experience. I rest my case. Okay. This next class that I wanted to cover, because it's not one that I taught. And even though I absolutely, I'm not a fan of this individual anymore, but you also cannot argue with his skill. It's one of those people that they're so good. It doesn't matter what you think about any other thing. You cannot argue with their skill. Mm-hmm. So Vic, I will give it to you. You are an extremely skilled photographer. And his class is phenomenal. His aerial photography class is phenomenal. I love it. And it also really helps you understand kind of how he thinks about going about getting photos. And he says it flawlessly, which is, it's not about the photo that you take. It's what you do with it. Let's check out that promo really fast, Rob.
Anybody and everybody can put a drone up and take a photograph.
We're going to take off, straight up.
It's what you do with it afterwards that will separate you from everybody else. I can show you how to do that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, hi, this is Vic Moss from Drone U. Today we're going to be filming a photography course. It's going to be a comprehensive photography course.
Okay, and this guy's ready to go.
We're going to actually go out into the field and we're going to do both a daylight shoot and we're also going to do a night shoot. We get a lot of questions about night photography.
The cart jump at the building did not. That means I'm getting nice sharp exposures.
The better your photography is, the more valuable you are to your client.
Seriously, can't argue with that skill.
No, I mean, that's one of the reasons he was such an important part of building Drone U, or being helpful in that regard.
Yeah, I'm sad that it stopped. Anyway, on to our next one. A lot of people ask us all the time, what are the best settings for your drones? Well, in this Cyber Week deal, I just want you to know, if you sign up for that virtual class bundle, you can attend our operations class. And I go over different settings for different drones, but I also tell you what you absolutely need to set before every single flight. But if you can't make that virtual class, that's fine, because we have what we call the Don't Crash course. The Don't Crash course is specific to your drone, whether it's a Mavic Pro, a Mavic 2 Pro, or Phantom 4 Pro. The thing is that the Don't Crash course is going to help you understand the drone, what you need to do for maintenance, how you need to set it up. Are you going to hack it to get the most out of it, or are you going to hack it to make sure it's a safe drone? Do you need to hack it at all? If you need to hack it, how do you hack it? Okay. These are all things that we cover. And so whether you're flying a Mavic 2 Pro, we've got a Don't Crash course for that. Whether you're flying the Mavic 2 Enterprise, well, we've got a Don't Crash course for that. You mean the Inspire 2? Don't worry, we've got a Don't Crash course for that. Wait, you need to learn about the Phantom? We got a Don't Crash course for that too. Okay? So you see, I've already mentioned like 7 classes, and just so you know, I have like 30 more lines of outline to go. It's a long one. I'm trying
So
to
hang with us.
Yeah, please hang with us. But Rob, okay, this is the denouement, the climax right here. What have we learned at Drone U that every pilot wants? Number 1, confidence to fly. They don't want to look like a dweeb in front of their friends. Totally get it. I've done it. They want to learn fast, which is hard sometimes, because they want to lower the learning curve. A lot of people just want to fly really well. And they want to keep challenging themselves to keep it fun. That's the third thing. Number 4, most pilots want affirmation from their friends. They want to take good photos, they want to post them on Instagram, and they want to get credit for it, okay? We're talking about what pretty much Drone U has learned that every pilot wants, okay? And I would say that, Rob, you and I are the example too. I mean, in so many ways, we are at opposite ends of the spectrum as far as where we are in the timeline of being a drone pilot. And I still think that Drone U serves both of us very well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it does as well. And, again, going back to the whole beginner thing, I mean, the idea is that we want to take somebody who otherwise might have gone 0 to 60 in 12 seconds to be able to go 0 to 60 in 6 seconds, meaning they're getting up that learning curve of learning how to fly a drone very, very well, much quicker, avoiding a lot of mistakes that they would have otherwise encountered, right? And so, yeah, we're definitely going to help those beginners get to that point.
And because it's so much information, that's why I wrote this last thing that most pilots want to know, which is where to get started.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is that it depends. It depends. Do you really kind of want to go down the technical path? Do you want to go down the creative path? Like, which path do you want to go down? This is why I think this lifetime access is so powerful. We've never offered this before, by the way, because if you were to buy 10 years of Drone U, it'd be about $5,000. And right now we're offering lifetime access for $14.97. You can also attend the operations class virtually, which is a live class, or the mapping bootcamp class in that lifetime membership plus virtual class bundle. That's only $24.97. So I'm going to do my ShamWow commercial here. For a savings of $197,000, you can get the equivalent of information in a 4-year degree. Online, from people who actually have made money with their drones. They've done it in real life, and they can show you how to turn your toy into a tool and make the printer go brrr.
Wow. I don't know who that was, but
Well, the last part, the money printer go burr, that was my Wall Street bets from Reddit.
oh gosh.
No, I actually, a few people have reached out to me from the podcast, and they said, were you mentioning WSB on the show? And I was like, yes.
Maybe, maybe not.
Anyway, getting back to it, the last thing that most pilots want to know is where to get started. It depends on whether you're technical. It depends on whether you want to go creative, which is why I think the lifetime access is so important, because it gives you the flexibility, right? If you evolve as a person and you went from a crazy creative to a highly technical construction project manager, take my word for it, it's possible for anyone if you have an open mind. But let's say you evolve and you want to learn that stuff and you don't want to have to pay for drone school all over again. Guess what? You invested in yourself. You have lifetime access. You can now go take the mapping class.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. And stay connected to the group of people that are on that same journey as you.
That is so true. And I think what we need to do right now is I think that we need to realize a couple of things. Number one, technical jobs are hard. And I think that's why a lot of people really don't get into it right away. And that's also why I think it's important on understanding the importance of a slowed down version of our mapping class. So really quick, I want to show you our brand new virtual mapping bootcamp video. This is kind of a recap of what you are going to learn in this new class. The VFX stuff is in there. So let's go ahead and play that funky music. Hey everyone, and welcome to Drone U HQ. Are you ready to turn your toy into a tool? Are you ready to learn how to take linear measurements, volumetric measurements, conduct progression reports, or maybe you just want to learn how to create one point cloud and sell it to 10 clients? Either way, you're not going to want to miss the Drone U Mapping Bootcamp. Now with a unique schedule in the afternoons or an all-day schedule to fit your needs. So what's in this drone mapping class and what makes it so different from all the other drone mapping classes? Very simply put, number one, we are going to teach you the practical workflows to get through numerous exercises to produce deliverables for construction, for cell tower inspections, power line inspections, for progression reporting, 3D modeling, for remote worksite development, and VFX. There's so much that you can do with drone mapping. We could literally have a 20-minute video with all the deliverables just scrolling in a line behind me. The key point though is you need to know how to acquire imagery to create the best point clouds ever. And that's one key difference with this class than any other class. Even though it's virtual, you are still going to take flight and you are going to learn the practical workflow of acquiring imagery for different deliverables. That's right, if you're just creating an orthomosaic, that might be a single grid, but to produce a 3D model in a complex environment is going to take formulas you will not find anywhere else on the internet. A lot of people don't take it to this level. Look, if you're like me and you want to make sure that you can produce as many deliverables as possible from your drone, you want a comprehensive mapping class. You want to learn the systems of processing so you can know why your processing worked or why it didn't. You need to learn the tips and tricks on how to solve complex problems when your deliverables don't come out the way that you wanted them to. And when it comes to learning at Drone U, learning virtually is even more fun and easy. We're not like a boring university or college. No. We've been doing live classes online for years, and we know what it takes to engage you, to have fun, and to solve problems. That's right, we can even have instructors help you step by step looking at your screen in real time. Don't be afraid of a virtual class when the school knows how to deliver and ensure that you retain. Through all the practical information learned in the field, applied through exercises to give you real-world workflows so you can produce deliverables and know how to price them, you're not going to find that in any other drone mapping class.
No, you can't do it in ADDIE because then it won't measure overlap.
You're not going to want to miss this new schedule. We're going to the evenings. So if you already have a job or you're working a lot of drone jobs, join us in the evenings for about 2 hours each day over the course of numerous weeks so we can break up this information, learn it together, have a lot of fun, and take your business to new heights.
Break.
My name is Paul, and as an experienced mapper, I cannot wait to help you achieve your goals. Let's have some fun, and I'll see you at the course. Well, you know what's cool about that class, Rob, is that class has a lot of information in it, but what I don't think people understand is there's still so much more, which is why we built the Advanced Mapping Resources classes, which is 7 different classes to help you understand different key points of delivering for specific verticals. But those classes also don't cover things like what happens if you want to just go make money in construction. You just need to know how to go fly orthos, get progression photos, and some video. You want to set it up in Litchi so you do it over and over and over and over again at the same exact, that's scale right there, okay? Then you would take our flying construction and progression class. But what if you want to know cell towers, right? Drone pilots are getting hired all over the country right now for communications because our communications infrastructure is being tested at a rate it's never been tested before. So drone pilots are getting hired. Well, what if you need to know how to fly a cell tower? What if you need to know how to avoid those guide wires? What if you're not familiar with the workflow on flying cell phone towers, what they're looking for and what you need to do, and the fastest way to get it done so you can increase that profit margin? Well, then you're probably going to want to take PJ's cell phone tower mapping class. I can go down. I am going to go down the rabbit hole, actually. Let's keep going here, okay? What happens if I want to work for someone like Amazon and do distributions? Excuse me, not distributions. That's what we call paying ourselves. What if you want to fly distribution centers? Well, DroneU members, DroneU instructors, actually. Let me clarify here. DroneU instructors have that contract right now and are flying it. We did just do a class on that. So if you're really ready to get into these big box store construction and you need to know how to speak to project managers, you need to know how to deliver what they're looking for and how to really dig down to figure out what they're looking for, then you're definitely going to want to take that class that we just filmed out at Amazon. Like that is going to be so sick.
Is that being worked on as we speak?
I think it's already cut.
Oh.
That's what Hoel said this morning.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
And by the way, just before it ever came to the class, just in our community, somebody said, hey, does anybody have experience with, I've got a new Amazon distribution center going up in my neck of the woods because, of course, they're popping up everywhere. And I literally saw it, tagged Kevin. Kevin's so wonderful. He hops in there and says, hey, this is what I'm doing. He starts asking questions. It could be different, probably a different contractor. And so you need to get to know them. But basically 3 or 4 people said, hey, I have one in my area too. And so they were all discussing about how do I go do what's happening here?
Yeah.
Right in our community was this guidance on how to go do this work. That's pretty cool.
And that's the thing. We haven't talked about this community. Most schools stop at the door. DroneU continues out the door with a community that helps you sometimes late get jobs.
Sometimes late.
Get jobs. So this is so powerful with a community that's going to inspire you and it's going to motivate you, and with different specific classes on how to understand the workflow of turning your toy into a tool. It's probably pretty easy to understand at this point why we don't just serve the new pilot. But thanks, John. We appreciate you. That being said, I think it's easy to assume that we serve a very wide gamut of pilots. So at the end of the day, most pilots have realized that in order to be successful, they have to be able to do these 3 things. If you can't do these 3 things, well, I would argue that your propensity to be successful has decreased. That's about it. That's all I'm going to say. Here are the 3 things. And in fact, in our new props program, which launches in January, we've pushed that back to January, you're going to see even more of this in a whole new way. We're fundamentally going to change aviation education. You'll see, don't worry. Most pilots want to be able to do these 3 things. 1, take really great photos in great light and understand what is great light. Okay. Number 2, they want to capture really smooth video that doesn't flicker or shake. And number 3, they want to be able to fly an ortho mosaic when a client asks for it. An ortho is not hard in drone mapping. It's the easiest of all the deliverables. Okay? You master these 3 deliverables and you can do a vast majority of jobs. Not, the intense drone mapping stuff, the advanced 3D modeling, but pretty much the ortho mosaic is the deliverable that even Amazon, that's all they want. They don't want GCPs. They don't want to take measurements. They're not doing surveying. I mean, none of that. I mean, I think people have really stepped away from this whole surveying thing. They're like, we don't need to say that we're getting that level of information because we're not. All we're doing is overview, analysis, overwatch, right?
And there's still a ton that can be done that's very valuable, and you don't have to get to that point.
True. And surveying rules are completely different in every state. So some are very strict. California, I'm looking at you. Some are very easy and some are in between. But for the most part, people want standards for safety. And we get that. And we're not trying to get away from that at all. In fact, we're trying to keep the bar super high. That's where I think the misunderstanding is.
Seriously.
Anyway.
Come on.
So, all right, if you've made it this far, Rob's goal is to bring on 25 new lifetime members. Now, considering how many students we have right now, 25 maybe represents what, 1%? half of 1%. I'm not sure. Either way, 25 is not a lot. But I would also be stunned if we didn't get 25, because after explaining all of this value, I mean, I'm sitting here having flown a lot of these jobs, known what it's like, known and worked on client relationships for years. We can teach you from experience. Don't just take it from us. Take it from our most successful people. I wonder who's running the power line inspection conglomerate out of California, a DroneU member. Okay? I wonder who... I can't say that. There's a lot of people that are doing very cool things with drones that we cannot talk about that are phenomenal people. They are open to learning. Okay. They are patient and with me. I appreciate that too, by the way. And they're willing to work harder than their peers. It's that simple formula. Okay. After explaining how the value of this content, which is content built over the last 7 years and updated, by the way. Okay. 7 years of content. $2,500. Okay. You take that mapping class at a university and you're going to pay 10 grand. Promise you. Okay. Even with that cheap example, you're saving $7,500. Let's get the example of, that one student said he went to Embry-Riddle. Okay. $50,000. DroneU, $2,400. Oh yeah. We trained 3 of their instructors. Okay, if you made it this long, thank you. We appreciate it. Rob has a gift for you. Rob threw this in. And so I got to say my last line that I wrote down for this podcast outline, which is, remember this. And this is something that Rob has taught me. I'm serious. Don't you try to be humble on me right now. You taught me this. Remember, the best investment is in oneself, as it pays the greatest dividends. I did not believe I was even smart enough to be a drone pilot when I started this. I'm serious.
It's really hard to imagine, but carry on.
But seriously, like I didn't think I was capable of it. And now I've realized that if I can put my mind to something and follow John Dumas's rule, follow one course until success, I can learn anything. And if I can learn anything, that means I can do anything I want to. And because I'm lazy, I want my money to make money perpetually. So now I'm using my mind to learn about quantitative analysis and finance. So if I can sit here after a successful drone career and have done these jobs and sit here with a smile, because not only are we know what we're teaching, it's been proven thousands of times over. It's helped hundreds of people. And you know what? It is so much fun to work outside. You don't have to deal with essential, non-essential, because you're media. You're always essential. And we know media controls the world, so we're essential. I'm joking. Anyway, my point is this. I do not believe you will find a better deal in education right now. You will not find this level of depth, this many classes. I've said 30, 40 classes, depending on your whatever you define as a class. I think there's actually like over 50, but I would only call 40 of them classes. Some of them are only like 20 to 40 minutes. That said, you will not find a better deal. I think we can get way more than 25 people if they're thinking rationally, logically, and they realize they're humans like me. I'm just sitting here thinking, if something like DroneU would have been around when I was a drone pilot, I would have never gone to DroneU. Because to even think about, well, what if I want to, in 5 years, learn how to do drone mapping because my department is now switching over to technical analysis of data from marketing, right? How many times have we heard that in the last week?
A lot.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, you are human, I'm human, Rob's human, we evolve. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. It is available for 7 days, is that right? So we are recording this Wednesday. I don't even wear my Apple Watch anymore. Wednesday at 1:54 p.m. MST. So we're going to leave it up for 7 days from today. Is that cool?
Yeah, which is December
9th, I think.
December 9th.
I only knew that because I have options expiring on the 7th.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Spy puts. So
On the 7th?
on a Monday.
Huh.
Isn't that weird?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why that happened.
That
either.
is weird. Anyways, yes, the 9th. And so because what happens is, of course, these are evergreen and they'll stay on our system for a long time probably. And so you might be listening to this in 2022. And this deal is not available. But anyways, let's give people that made it this long.
Thank
you. If there are any of
John
you
and Dave
still
Schwam,
there,
GFY. Grateful for you.
then you can. We'll send you a mini pad for $17, and they're normally $37.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And we just got those SAR mini pads in, so our new law enforcement deal that I said on a show months ago will actually be live now.
Yeah, so if you're wondering how to actually get the mini pad for $17, by the way, we will have to add shipping because, well, shipping costs suck. But
how about this? I'm gonna one up your one up.
Oh, well,
here we go.
My dad can beat up your dad, but go ahead.
He probably could.
He probably could.
How about this? Anyone who buys a lifetime membership, whether it's the lower edition or with the virtual class bundle, we just give them a landing pad.
Well, sure. Okay.
All right. Then we just made a deal. Let's shake on it.
All right.
It's been done. All right. Executive decision.
Right on.
And that's how we do business here at Drone U. In fact, I'll never forget Joshua Marriott one time. I am just fascinated at how fast you guys can pivot and move. Well, you just saw it. So anyway, yeah, I think that's going to do it for us, dude.
I'm going to throw something out there.
Uh-oh, here we go.
But it's putting you on the spot.
Oh, shit. All right.
That is, if you're still listening, so you're going to have to mention this. By the way, to get the landing pad for $17, just email me, rob@thedroneu.com, and we'll figure that out. Because frankly, we just thought of this as we were doing the podcast, and I didn't get everything set up for that and don't want to mess with it. So just email me and we'll figure it out. But anyone that buys the full lifetime plus the virtual package, the virtual bundle, gets an hour on the phone with you.
What? An hour? No.
No? 30 minutes?
Okay, I'll do 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'll do 30 minutes.
All right.
Because you know the prices that we charge for that.
I know. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, and I've been getting a crazy amount of emails lately.
And we can edit this out if you want.
No, it's cool.
That's the only reason I did it, because I knew we could edit it out.
Let's do it. You can edit the F.
Get it? Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
Only valid till December 31st at 11:59. Here's the fine print.
You have to have O plus positive blood type.
What? Anyone who understands the value of that deal, I will absolutely 100% do a 30-minute consult call, which we normally charge $300 for. So.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. That'd be awesome. So,
all right. Well, that's going to do it for us. We normally, don't talk about all the offerings here at Drone U, but we had to do it just once.
Hopefully, if nothing else, if you're still with us, you had a little fun.
Yeah.
Even though it's a very salesy podcast.
It was an incredibly salesy podcast. So anyway, thanks again for joining us. We will have actual useful content for tomorrow, like all the classes that you can get in this lifetime deal. Right. Bombshell.